Hey Guilherme, it's been an eventful week in the world.
As a lot of you know, there has been a war between Russia and Ukraine.
We here at Msgpatv stand by Ukraine.
May this war come to an end soon.
Last week, on February 24th, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, sent Russian troops to invade Ukraine.
This was an unprovoked attack on sovereign nations.
President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine called the people of Ukraine to brace for the attack.
Over the past week, the U.S. has shown their support for Ukraine. Here's what GPA has gathered.
But President Biden has already announced new sanctions on 4 more Russian banks and some of the Russian elites. And he's also cutting off Russia's industries and military of U.S. semiconductors and other high-tech products. The president says it could take weeks to know if the new economic punishments even have an impact.
No one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening. This is going to take time, and we have to show resolve so he knows what's coming. And so the people of Russia know what he's brought on them.
It's so sad that this is affecting so many innocent people.
To brighten up your mood, here is a little clip by Camila Nybar and Brooklyn Winship.
On March 9th is new parent and student info night.
If you know anyone who wants to go here, they can come by and see what GPA offers.
New student applications are being accepted now through March 18th.
On March 18th is the middle school spring fling.
It's from 5 to 8 p.m.
Do you love reading?
Well, book club starts March 21st.
They will be voting for a book at their first meeting before spring break.
They meet on Mondays during lunch.
Now, on to sports.
Well, homie, this episode we got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. Kicking it off with some drama on the field, FIFA and UEFA have suspended Russia from the World Cup. This comes after the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine. Here's a look at the team's support for the country.
And today, clubs here in the UK had their chance to make their feelings known. There were emotional and touching scenes ahead of Everton's game with Manchester City, where players and fans threw their support behind the 2 Ukrainians, Alexander Zinchenko and Vitaly Mykolenko. Zinchenko we saw in tears as the whole stadium at Goodison threw their support behind him and his Ukraine teammate Vitaly Mykolenko. The City team wore no war t-shirts with the Ukraine flag across the middle there, and the Everton team, each of them draped in the Ukrainian flag, as was Mykolenko there on the bench. And in the stands, the fans showed their support as well. So to the warm-up and a hug between Zinchenko and Mykolenko. The Goodison crowd clapped and cheered in support. Both Everton and City said they were doing everything to support their players as the crisis unfolds in their homeland.
Thoughts and prayers for Ukraine and their safety. On a good note, the Guilherme High School girls softball team won against Madison 12-7. For middle school boys basketball, the varsity team won in a close game against Magnet, 36-33. Sadly, the JV team lost 32-22. However, both teams will be advancing to the playoffs. Varsity boys will play at Madison in the semifinals Thursday at 4 p.m. On the ice, the LA Kings won their game with the Anaheim Ducks just last Friday. The score? 4-1. As for basketball, the Lakers and the Clippers will play at 7 p.m. Ending it with some baseball, the MLB has been in a lockout due to the expiration of the previous collective bargaining agreement. This means that spring training and the opening day have been delayed for now. Well, homie, that's all for sports. This has been Olivia. Let's head on back to the main show.
Everyone is affected by the war, even athletes.
It even affects their sleep.
Speaking of sleep, we have a news story called About Sleep by Aiden Reyes and Gabriel Benner called Much Needed Nap.
You might have heard from your friends and family that sleep is important. It's what keeps us thinking rationally. Unfortunately, many people are unaware of the mistake that is being made of sacrificing sleep for something with way smaller value. So, we sought out to inform the misinformed on the benefits of a good night's sleep.
Hi, my name's Damien.
Hi, my name is Lena.
Hi, my name is Luciana.
I do think sleep's important because it gets you energized.
Sleep is very important, yes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important.
I think that I get about 8.5 hours of sleep per night.
Maybe like 6 to 7.
I usually get about 5 hours of sleep.
I personally sleep, right now I sleep about 8 hours. When I had my first and second baby, it was 4-hour cycles, and that was rough. But right now I sleep 8 hours.
There are many bad habits that lead to an irregular change in behavior, or worse, insomnia, that many people fail to break. Things like staying up late, eating too much before bed, or sleeping somewhere without the proper temperature seem minor but could possibly mess up your entire mental health. The reason why is because of your sleep requirements. Your sleep quota varies depending on your age. Newborns should get 14 hours of rest. 4 to 10-month-old children should get at least 12 hours. 2-year-olds should get 11 hours. Preschoolers 10 hours. 16 to 13-year-old children need 9 hours. And anyone older only needs 7 hours.
So for my age group, definitely 8 hours, actually 6 to 8 hours. So it's between that time span, 6 to 8 is recommended.
I think that you should get around 8 hours of sleep each night.
I think kids should get about 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
On today's adventure, we learned about the importance of sleep, as well as all the good and bad habits that contribute to your slumber. So sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite, homie. With camera operator Gabe Banner, this is Aiden Reyes, reporting for Msgpatv.
I definitely need a nap.
Let's get through the show first.
Okay, on to entertainment.
What's up, Michael homies? This is Fernando Leon, not Michael Russell, and yes, I love M&Ms. I'm here to tell you about entertainment news. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is certainly raising tensions, especially for the people from Ukraine. On an unrelated note, The Batman, a new movie that just came out, is one of the most popular movies so far. This movie features Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Paul Dano, and Colin Farrell. Another movie is about to come out is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This movie is a must-see for video game enthusiasts. And it features Jim Carrey, Idris Elba, Ben Schwartz, and James Marsden. The final movie we'll be talking about today is Dog. This comedy is about an army ranger and his crazy dog, released it in mid-February. This movie stars Channing Tatum, Scarlett Joy, and Aquila Zal. Well, that's all for today, folks. This has been Fernando Leon, and now let's go back to the main show.
Now, for another news story by Olivia Rylea and Sarah Sequina called Teacher's Secret to Success.
What's the first thing you think of when someone mentions the word school? Homework? Friends? Lunch, perhaps? Well, what about the teachers? One educator in particular would be Mrs. Roque, who has been working here for 16 years. Let's find out her secrets to success.
I love teaching a lot of students. We have a class, sometimes I have a class of like 18 kids, and then I have a class of, the biggest I have is 29, but a lot of times it's different personalities, so it's kind of fun teaching a bigger class because sometimes there's a lot of interesting personalities in there. To become a teacher, the struggles I went through were not really related to students. It was mostly just the different schools I went to. So when I first became a teacher, I was down in San Diego, and just I was jumping from different schools to kind of see what would be a good fit. So there were a lot of different schools that I went to at first, but then I found my home here at Guahomie. I've learned as a teacher to just always be very flexible, and that every student has their own individual history and their own individual circumstances that they are going through. So a lot of times you have to take that into consideration and just see what will work the best for that particular student. If you plan on becoming a teacher, you got to do it because you love kids and not because you get long summer vacations and winter vacations. That's definitely very nice, but I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm going to be a teacher because, you know, you get 3 months off in the summer and you have a pretty set schedule. But if that's the reason you want to become a teacher, you're going to be in for a rude awakening because you really got to love being around young adults. And if you want to be an elementary school teacher, you know, being around younger kids too. So you just have to be able to form relationships with them and to know what their needs are and to be open to adjusting yourself in order to be a teacher.
As you can see, the journey to become a teacher is a long and complicated one. Yet with advice from our beloved mentors, it takes a weight off our shoulders. With camera operator Sarah Sarkinia, this has been Olivia Riley with Msgpatv.
That's all for this week, Guahomie.
Join us next time for the weekly news.
This was Zeke.
And this was Aya, signing out.